ISIS has claimed responsibility for the attack, according to a statement posted on an ISIS-affiliated news organization, but crucially, they have not provided any sort of evidence to support this claim. And although it's early in the investigative stages here, it's so soon after the attack itself, we haven't seen the U.S. or Russia weigh in here. Russia, of course, announced they were launching a criminal investigation, and the U.S. has been watching this space, but no corroboration yet from U.S. officials. According to two sources familiar with the intelligence, the U.S. had seen a steady stream of intelligence since back in November, warning that ISIS Khorasan, otherwise known as ISIS-K, was planning to carry out a large-scale attack within Russia, one that would lead to a mass casualty incident here. It was fairly specific intelligence, according to one of those sources, and the U.S. felt it had a duty to warn here. So some of that intelligence, at least, was passed on to Russian counterparts and to the Russian government to warn them that an attack like this might be possible. What was done with that information on the Russian end, that, at least at this point, is incredibly difficult to know. It's also worth noting that on March 7th, the U.S. Embassy in Moscow warned U.S. citizens in the country to avoid large gatherings, including concerts, because of the potential for an imminent attack by extremists. Now, we don't know yet if there is a connection between that steady stream of intelligence and that March 7th warning, but it is two data points that are worth keeping an eye on. It's also worth pointing out that that March 7th warning was only for 48 hours, and this attack came some 2 weeks later. Russian President Vladimir Putin dismissed that March 7th warning earlier this week in a speech to the FSB, or at least a presentation to the FSB. He called it provocative and dismissed it outright. So it's difficult to know how seriously the Russians took U.S. warning of a potential attack here. Now, the U.S. is still very much looking to see how this plays out and where the intelligence lead, but this is a space the U.S. was watching very closely. Oren Lieberman, CNN in Washington.